In this video, I'm going to show you how to use a Google Chrome extension called Insert Learning to make any web page interactive. Typically, if we were to assign students to go visit a web page to read an article or to get information, we wouldn't really have any way of knowing whether or not they actually went to that web page, and we also wouldn't really know if they made sense of what they found there. Insert Learning completely changes that. This ability to take any web page and transform it into an active learning experience for students is a clear way that we can use education technology to enhance our instruction. My name is Sam Kary, and this is my YouTube channel for the new EdTech classroom. Regardless of whether or not we're teaching in person or online, it's important for us to embed small checks for understanding in all of the work that we assign to students. Programs like Edpuzzle and Nearpod now allow us to take any video content and add custom questions to it, but there haven't been a lot of ways for us to take any website and turn that into an interactive experience as well. So that's where the Chrome extension Insert Learning steps in, and let's jump in and take a look at what it's all about. First, in order to get this extension, you'll need to go to the Chrome Web Store. Once you're in the Chrome Web Store, search for Insert Learning. Click Add to Chrome, then click Add Extension. There you'll be asked to sign up with either Google or Microsoft, and then select whether or not you're a student or a teacher. One option is to go ahead and create a class here, but if you're a Google Classroom user, I would suggest you just skip this step for now, because I'll also show you how you can bring your Google Classroom roster in. You'll fill out some basic information about your role as an educator and then hit submit. Now, before we get any further, there's a couple of important things for you to know. The first is that in order for students to use this program, they're also going to need to do the same process that we just did. That means that students will need to be able to add Chrome extensions to their browsers. Often students are blocked from doing this, so we may have to request from our administrators that those extensions are pushed out to student browsers. Similar to a lot of other programs, the free version limits the amount of lessons you can store. So with the free version, you'll be allowed to store up to 5 lessons. And then if you want to have unlimited storage, you can pay $8 a month or $40 for the entire year. All right, first I want to show you the Classes tab here. If you chose to create that class when you first signed in, you'll see your class show up here, and you'll also see a class code that you could give to your students in order for them to be able to join your class. And if you click on the 3 dots, you'll also see that you have an option to invite a co-teacher here as well. If you're a Google Classroom user, another option is to go up here to New Class, and then you could sync your Google Classroom rosters and create classes that way. And there are also some pre-created lessons here. So to access those, go to the Public Library tab, and then you could search for some interactive web content that other teachers have already made. So to create a lesson totally from scratch, what I'll do here is go to a web page that I want to assign to my students. And to turn it into an interactive lesson, I'll first click on the Chrome extension, and then I'll see a menu pop up on the left-hand side of the screen. The first option is to assign this assignment. The second is to highlight text. Then you can insert questions as well as discussion prompts. So let's start with the highlight tool, which is pretty straightforward. If you click on the highlight icon, that will allow you to highlight any portion of the text. So what you might do here is choose to highlight a part of the text and then select the sticky note option, click on that same paragraph where you inserted the highlight, and add a note to students about why you highlighted that particular section. In addition to just text, you can also include links in these sticky notes as well. So let's just say that I found this other video on the same topic on YouTube that I want my students to reference. What I can do here is copy the link to the video, then open up a new sticky note. And then when I paste the link to the video, you'll notice that it will directly embed the video on that page. And if you click the play button, it's playable right there. So it's not even going to bounce students back to YouTube. And then I might add another sticky note underneath the video to explain why I included it. So in addition to highlights and sticky notes, we can also directly embed questions on the web page. To do this, click on the question icon, select the part of the page where you want to add the question, and then you'll see this question box pop up. If you want to grade it, you can edit the point value of the question, and then you can either write your own question or select from one of these pre-written question stems. You can either leave that as an open response question, or you can click here in order to turn that question into a multiple choice question by adding all of the different answer choices. And if you do this, just make sure that you've selected which answer is correct. But I'm just going to go back here and select one of the pre-written questions and leave it open-ended. You'll see this in a moment, but when students log in, they're also able to use a highlighter function as well as sticky notes. So here I'll add a sticky note that's going to prompt students to highlight keywords in the text. And then I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the page here to add a discussion prompt. To add that prompt, click on the dialog bubble. Then, just like we did with the others, select the part of the page where you want to add that prompt. And the difference between the question and the discussion prompt is that students will also be able to see each other's answers to the discussion and respond to each other as well. Now to assign this to students, click on the top icon. Here you'll need to select the class that you want to assign the web page to. Click the blue Assign button, and then the way you share it with students will depend on whether or not you manually created the class or if you're using Google Classroom or Microsoft Teams. So let's say that I want to assign this to Google Classroom. I can go down here to click the Google Classroom icon. I'll have to sign into my account, and then that will pop up a box allowing me to select which classes I want to assign this assignment to. Select the class where you want the assignment to show up, and then when you go back to Google Classroom, you'll see that the assignment has been posted and you can edit it however you need to. And if you're not using Google Classroom, another choice would just be to create a class manually and then give them the class code and they can sign in with that as well. So now let's just look at what this assignment would look like from the student end. You could either share the direct link with students, or if students go to Google Classroom, they could click on the link to access that assignment. If it's their first time using Insert Learning, it's going to prompt them to add the Chrome extension. After they've gone through the process of doing that, it will take them directly to the interactive page you just created. When they scroll down, they'll be able to see the highlights you made as well as the sticky notes you posted. And you'll see again when they get to the video that they could click on it and watch it directly inside of that web page. And when a student scrolls down to the paragraph where you ask them to highlight keywords, they can select the highlight icon, then drag their mouse over the words they want to highlight. That will highlight the words for them. And then they can also click on the add button below in order to add a comment. You'll see here that the student can also write their response to the question that you posted. And then when they scroll down to the bottom of the page and get to the discussion prompt, they can write their answer there as well and click post when they're ready for it to show up. And then to indicate to their teacher that they've finished the assignment, students just need to click on the IL icon and then select Mark as Done. And you'll see here as well that if another student logs into the assignment and scrolls down to the discussion question, they'll be able to see the previous student's response and respond to that student directly on the web page as well. And then back on the teacher interface, in order to see student responses, just click on the Lessons tab. There you'll see the lesson that you created, click on it, and then when you scroll down to the part of the page where you ask questions, you'll be able to see your students' responses. Here, click View All Responses, and then a box will show up that has all of your students' answers in a single place. You can give them immediate written feedback, and you can also score their response. When you scroll down to the discussion question, you'll also be able to see your students' responses, and if you click on the drop-down menu, that will allow you to see responses from just a single class or from a single student. And later, if you want to go back to see how your students responded to the questions, go back to your dashboard, click on the Grades tab, then select the assignment you're looking for, and there you'll be able to see all of their responses as well. When we combine a tool like Insert Learning that makes web pages interactive with other tools that make text interactive and video interactive, we can piece together a whole suite of content that has built-in check for understanding questions so that we can make sure that our students are actively engaged with their learning. I'm really excited about this extension. I hope you find it helpful. And if you have any questions about how I use it, please ask in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching my video to the end. If you found the tips that I shared helpful, please share it with other teachers that you know, hit the like button, and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell to make sure you don't miss any of my weekly updates. You can also check out some of the other tutorials I have on my channel by clicking on one of those 2 videos above. And if you're interested in downloading any of the resources that I've created and show on my videos, please visit my website at www.newedtechclassroom.com. Lastly, if you want to check me out on social media, my Twitter handle, Facebook page, and Pinterest account are all in the description below. Thanks so much and have a great week.